Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. As Cenk said, my name is Alp Basaran. I'm running for Congress in the 9th District of New Jersey. And I want to tell you that in my mind, progressive politics is about saving America. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. I came to this country when I was 4 years old, and I was undocumented. I grew up as an undocumented immigrant. But, you know, the America of my childhood was not the America that we live in today. Despite severe economic hardships, I had a pretty happy childhood. I was not afraid of police officers. I was not afraid that the government was going to come to my door, that federal agents were going to break in and kidnap me from my parents. I comfortably attended public school. We were not afraid. That was then. And despite all of our economic hardships, which were pretty severe, I was pretty happy. And we became successful over time. We realized the American dream. My dad, he started out as a gas station attendant. I still remember him in his Amoco winter onesie, as I called it back then. Then he became a New York City cab driver. It was more than enough to put food on the table and pay rent. My mom started out as a McDonald's employee. And then she became a hairdresser. I myself became a lawyer. Our entire family became successful because there was at least some aspect of the American dream that worked. And that's why when I was a kid, I never felt like an illegal immigrant. The truth is, we weren't illegal immigrants. We were always undocumented Americans. And we have to remind America that that's what undocumented people are. They're Americans, they just don't have the paperwork yet. Now, today, we live in a different kind of America. ICE and CBP are creating an entire generation of second-class residents. Absolutely. Undocumented Americans are now demonized in society. And wealth inequality has reached historic proportions. And instead of fixing it, we have an entire presidency. It's not just the president that's a billionaire. Treasury Secretary, Education Secretary, they're all billionaires. We have an entire presidency that is devoted to further entrenching that inequality. What they're really doing, and this is what we have to wake up to, what they're really doing is they're killing the American dream in order to save a few tax dollars. That's what they're doing. They're so stingy, they want to save some money, so they've decided to kill the American dream. Well, guess what? In America, based on our race, based on our ethnic background, based on our religious background, we don't have that much in common. What we have in common that sets us apart, the greatest thing we have in common that makes us special, is the fact that our dreams define who we are. For centuries, we came to this country because we wanted something better for ourselves. We all dream the same dream, and that's what we have in common. The American dream is America. And we have to remind all of our politicians that if they kill the American dream, they're going to kill America. It is absolutely the greatest thing that makes this country special. You can't go to China and move there and become Chinese in 3 generations even. Can't move to Russia and become Russian in 3 generations either. It just doesn't work that way. But you can come to America, grow up undocumented, and run for Congress 30 years later. You know why? Because that's who we are. We are a great country. And the man claiming to want to make it great again is, in my mind, out to destroy it. Now, I've been told a lot of the same things. It's not going to happen. The machine is powerful. It's not going to happen. Well, guess what? I have to admit, I was nervous. I was a little afraid when I started this journey. But going door to door for 3 months, I'm telling you, firsthand knowledge, if you have an incumbent that's been there for decades, either people haven't heard of him, or the ones that have, over the past 22 years, they have pissed them off somehow. I'm just telling you, I'm giving it to you the way it is. I was shocked myself. Every door I knocked, they either hadn't heard of the incumbents, or they had heard of him because they had a beef with him from 10 years ago, 20 years ago. The other thing about the machine, they talk about how you're never going to get the media on your side. The local media is never going to endorse you. It's just not going to. Guess what? Nobody reads papers anymore. None of the residents I visited read the Bergen Record or the Star Ledger anymore. It's no wonder that they had to cut staff over and over again. My point is, the machine is not as powerful as anyone thinks. The machine is weak, the machine is frail, and now is the time to rage against it. But it's not going to happen without you. And for those of us watching, it's not going to happen without my friends in Jersey. Because I'm telling you, people don't watch ads, they don't read the paper, they don't even have TV anymore. They watch Netflix and Amazon Prime. So the only way to do it is to knock on doors, and that's where you come in. We are not asking you to do anything that we're not doing already. I'm sure the other candidates up here are doing the same thing I am and knocking on doors 12 hours a day. I myself don't even wear a suit anymore because folks thought I was ICE when I knocked on their apartments. That's the America we live in now. So help us knock on doors, street by street, building by building, town by town, city by city. If we knock on enough doors, I promise you, we will destroy that machine. And we'll get everything we want. And all we want is to make the American dream viable again. We want single-payer health care. Get everyone health care. Let them work more comfortably. Start businesses more comfortably. We want to get everyone educated. Amen. Get them to public college. Get them to trade schools. Yeah. You're afraid of China? I traveled through China for 6 weeks. Guys, they're overwhelmingly poor. Their poor people are poorer than our poor people. Their middle class isn't doing as well as our middle class. Same story with India. I traveled through 13 cities in India by train. If we're afraid of China and India, we've got problems, and the problem is education. We've got to get everybody educated. We've got to get everybody healthy. And we absolutely need an immigration amnesty. And if we do those three things, we will save the American dream, we'll get all of America on board, and any Democrat who's not preaching what we're preaching will have to leave office. So I'll leave you with this last bit. I love the fact that you're all here. I love the fact that you're all donating. But if there's one thing you want to do to help, just one thing, just knock on one more door. Just knock on one more door, and all of these elections will be ours. Thank you, Cenk. Thank you, everyone. Website. I'm an amateur. Cenk is the professional, so he's telling me to tell you my website. It's alpbasaran.com, and our Twitter handle is Alp Basaran NJ. Thank you very much.